Double fisted indexes on the trigger. If I swing it, then I'm hitting. If I'm missing, I'll hit with your butt. It ain't no thing because I came up here with extra. Take together so we can get Jesus from all. White them up, watch them all fall down. I pick them off one by one. And I ain't coming with no mask on either. Just to fit it in the front, see my reflection in the heater. All hit your sweat with the matching Adidas. Got bitches going crazy in the neck cause I appear. Kill them all. Watch them all squeal, ears ringing, popping riser, watch your head from over heels, yeah. You see it, Jamie, baby, get your shit peeled. We working out everybody, ain't nobody do the building. Okay, I'm reloading, ready and dead to watch everything you know. Blow off the back of your head, I kill them all.
What's up, y'all? This your boy Rookz from Prolo Productions. I'm sitting here with your homie DJ Clay himself.
Hey,
I want to personally thank you very much for doing this, man.
for sure.
Now, you've been around for a while, but my question for you, first off out of the rip is, who was the first person that introduced you to music? You know what I'm saying? Like, who inspired you, you know?
Oh, who's like, what music inspired me?
Who, personally,
Just
like,
anything?
who
Shit. Man, what inspired me to do music, it was at an early age. It was a lot of the local scene that was going on around here in Southwest Detroit.
Yeah.
It was the local scene. Like, we was doing, here in Southwest, motherfuckers was doing shit that I don't know though. You know, it's kind of the same on the West Coast. A lot of people were doing shit like that. But freestyle music was like crazy popular when I was young coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So the local DJs around here were an inspiration because I was getting, you know, you go buy a cassette tape. Well, you know, nobody knows what those are anymore. But when you buy a cassette tape, had, you know, mixtapes, got mixes of all these different songs, all these different artists, you know, Stevie B, shit like that. And you know, those are influences. And you know, so from the local DJs introduced me to these freestyle artists, those artists became influences. And from just like, you know, my older uncles being into rock so heavy and shit, I grew up around that. So you know, it was like a lot of early rock and shit like that inspired me as well, you know, from shit like early Metallica, stuff like that, you know, and like Pantera, Slayer, like heavy metal, you know what I'm saying? Anthrax, shit like that.
Yeah.
I was listening to when I was young as fuck, you know?
Yeah, hey, same here, man. Probably most of them.
Then it went in that order though. It went like, you know, rock first, you know, when I was real young, because it was whoever I was riding around with and whatever they were bumping, you know. And then like shit like 2 Live Crew too, cause like you know, like my cousins would be bumping that shit. They had the 5.0s with the bass in the trunk and stuff like that, and they'd be thumping that shit, cause that shit bang. That all that Miami bass, that shit. So and then Miami bass does, you know, comes right back around to freestyle music too, because Miami bass was a big influence when DJs were mixing that with freestyle music, you know, and shit like that. So it was shit like that. It's a combination, man. It's real versatile. You know, like my background of like what I came up on and what inspired me is real versatile. And a lot of fucking Michael Jackson in there too. Like that shit was a huge inspiration. He was, as far as the entertaining aspect, you know, the entertainment aspect of that shit, nobody was doing it like him. Like that shit was blowing wigs back. You know, like as far as what he was doing, you know, as an entertainer, he was the definition of entertainment.
Oh yeah,
you know, all the way around. Like even with his controversy, all that stuff, like people were still tuned the fuck in. You know. So it was you know, combination of all that stuff was what inspired me and gave, you know, what puts all this crazy shit in my head that comes out. You know. So sometimes I'll go make beats and they're just straight rock. You know. Sometimes I'll make beats, they're trap, they're, you know, club. It's like I got so much shit laying around here. So That's what inspired me really. What I named off, all them genres too, mainly.
That's awesome. I kind of read up that around 12 or 13 you started DJing.
Yeah, I was making mixtapes before that actually. I was my first mixtape when I made it, I was 11 years old.
11?
Yeah, I was 11 when I made my
Damn.
first mixtape,
Okay.
and that was with no turntables. And a lot of real motherfucking DJs and old school cats, they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I used to make shit off just tape decks.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
you get a nice dual cassette tape deck,
Yeah.
or maybe two, depending on how what kind of equipment you're running with, or what kind of tape decks you stole. So I had this dual cassette player, right? And the way I would do it is one side was basically all my music. That's what I would cue up. I'd play a song. And the other side had the record option.
Yeah.
So I'm recording on one side, playing on the other, and when I get to the end of the song, not necessarily the end, but where I want it to end, you do a clean on both, a clean pause, not a stop, a pause. Because when you did it, when you paused it, record still stayed on, but everything paused. But when you stopped it, it made the record button pop out, so it wasn't on record no more.
Oh.
So that would kind of save the sound of like pops in between songs and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I made a mixtape like that. I cue it up, bam, and then next thing you know, you just hit record. And if I remember correctly, when I did it, you would hold record down, and when you let that go, it all popped out. You know what I'm saying? You had to play, like at the same time, it would roll again. It would kind of do a seamless mix if you were at least mixing songs that were in the same BPM or close to, you'd be able to school it. That's when I was really. And I was like, yo, I need some turntables now at this point. I was like, fuck, so, but my parents were broke, my parents, I grew up poor, and by the time I was 13 is when I got my first pair of turntables, and then that's when I started that's when shit, it was over from there on, yeah.
It was really hitting the game then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There's no fucking turning back then.
Right.
Now, before Psychopathic, there was a gap between you first started and about 4 or 5 years possibly.
I was a fucking alright. So from that gap between
when you first
got my turntables to me actually like really getting in a bigger scene, locally, I was like a fucking entrepreneur in this motherfucker. Like instead of just doing like house parties, I did those too. Don't get it like fucked up. I did those. I did house parties. I did one wedding. I did one quinceañera. I vowed I'd never do that shit again after I did it because I found out how proper they are. I was spitting music that probably should have been spun at like a fucking wedding reception and shit, but I had some sour looks sometimes, but that's when I knew that that wasn't for me. Like censorship, all that shit wasn't for me, So I was doing that shit though, but see, when I said I was like an entrepreneur in this bitch, I would go and rent out the hall myself. I was this little fucking 15, 16-year-old motherfucker renting out the hall, and I would do it like 2 nights, 3 nights in a row. Because the owner, he didn't give a fuck. He was some old dude. He just don't fuck up my hall, basically type shit, and give me whatever X amount of dollars after a weekend. Give me $300 or whatever. So I ain't no problem because I'm clean up at the door. Everybody's paying $5, That's back then when I was doing it was $5. I was like, cool. So all the homies could afford it. The whole deal, the hood was in that bitch.
Yeah.
So they would smack. I remember when I did that one in particular. I was 15 years old, I think. 15 years old, and it was 3 nights in a row. I had the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday locked down at the same club. The club was called the GI Forum, and it's right in Southwest Detroit. They're here, and I fucking made a killing. You know what I'm saying? A 15-year-old motherfucker pulling in that type of money over a weekend. That was great. I was pulling more than my pops was, and he worked a full 9 to 5. And so. But yeah, that's what I was doing between that gap, and then I started getting some phone calls, I seen if I could DJ this, DJ that, and when I was DJing, when I started doing events like what you're referring to for psychopathic and stuff, it was only local for a while. It was local, like it was only like certain after parties or big ballers or remember the Underground Psychos.
Okay.
Remember that contest? It was I DJ'd those when they were here. It was like the finals or whatever. That's when X Murder Boys won their record deal. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. And you know, so shit like that. It wasn't until even a nice little group of years later to when I got like actually phone call like to go out with Shaggy and do that first tour and stuff like that. I was 22 years old when I got that phone call. So I was just terrorizing this bitch, you know.
Hell yeah, you've worked with a bunch of big names in the industry. Is there someone that you personally really want to work with that you haven't yet?
Yeah, I want to work with DMX because he was one of my favorite rappers growing up. I want to get DMX on a fucking record, you know, and I feel like it's not out of reach.
That.
Yeah,
Give him a call.
make it happen.
Make
Everybody,
it happen.
y'all go blow up DMX. Then tag me. You do that. I want X on the track, man. For real, like that'd be a highlight, you know, for real. I'd love to produce the track. That'd be great, man. I make sure I made a banger for him, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's something that I want to do. And you know, I don't think nothing's out of reach. You know, as far as you know, some people limit themselves. I just wonder. I wonder why always. You know, but you know, I would like to work with Korn. You know, that would be amazing. Or you know, I would like to work with Korn and do some shit that maybe you know. You know, like remember when Linkin Park and the Executioners linked up, and they did that whole rock and DJ thing. You know, it's like, imagine if somebody did that with Korn, but in a heavier fashion. You know, that would be insane. Like some shit like that. You know,
that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be
it'd be a dream too. Like it'd be a goal. You know, that one too.
Damn. Just even thinking about that blew my fucking mind. That'd be a really dope fucking.
That's the type of dreams I have.
Oh yeah.
I wake up in the morning like, how am I gonna get Korn?
In the near future, you know, I know you just released brand new.
Yep.
Over the Fear. Right here. Now, besides this, what else is in the
Get it. Oh, in case you don't know, I'll plug it right now. You go to 211merch.com. Easy to remember. Go order the motherfucker. You're gonna be disappointed, man. If you guys don't know or didn't know that it dropped already or something, or just been bullshitting on ordering it, you're slipping. Like yeah, I'm real proud. I'm not saying because it's mine.
No,
but it's a project I'm real proud of, and it's something that people have been waiting for a long time. You know, my fans been waiting on a solo album.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about it is, this is only the first of a 3-part series. You know, I've always loved doing. I loved it when other artists did shit like series. It's something to follow. You know, I always loved that shit and was always into it. That's why when I did my earlier mixtapes, Let 'Em Bleed, everything was 1, 2, 3, 4. You know. And then, you know, even the Wickeds were 1, 2, you know, like I like series and chapters and volumes and stuff like that. Because you know there's another one coming. So you got something instantly, you know, as a fan, you know another one's coming. You know that, all right, well, fuck, he just did 4, 5, 6, you know, number 7's coming next. You got something to wait for. You know, if you're a fan of it and it's dope music, then you know it's going to be dope, you know. So this is part of part 1 of 3. I already have the names of my next 2 albums, you know, but see, the thing is, they're going to be albums, they're going to be solo albums. These ain't the mixtapes, these are the solo albums. And these are always going to be only me, you know, like I'm not, like, people always ask, like, who you got featured on the record? Nobody, because y'all wanted this solo record, you know. All my life I had mixtapes with everybody and features, cool, you know, dope ass features and stuff. That's what those are for. Those mixtapes are for, to give y'all that freshness, you know. This shit is for y'all straight me, you know what I'm saying? Rapid, you know. Because I'm taking myself completely out of the, you know, I can't say completely out, but you know, I'm do like I always have. That's why I kind of did that on purpose, or just kind of pepper in a couple solo rap songs on the mixtapes. I was just it's kind of like teasing and you know, and shit like that at the same time. Up until this point now, you know what I'm saying? It all leads up to this. And then the next one, it's gonna be, it's a 6-year thing, you know, so it's gonna be within the next, now, we're only like 6 months into it.
Mhm.
So now it'd be 2021 when the next one drops. But I got a lot of dope shit dropping in between there.
Oh yeah.
So every 2 years is when these are gonna come out. And when it's done, see, that's why it's titled Over the Fear of, and it got ... because there's a continuance after that. The next one, what the title is gonna be in addition to this, to this title.
Yeah.
And the third one is gonna be the final installment. When it's done, it makes a sentence. It's gonna tell motherfuckers something, like it's gonna be something that everybody can relate to, and something that means a lot to me that really I relate to.
That's awesome.
So a lot of people don't know that, but this is the first of just.
Did you always want to rap? Or was it just something that you like? Let me just try this and let me just see what I can do.
No, it's crazy because I was rapping more hardcore than I was DJing when I was younger. Like I was doing a lot of DJing and mixing and stuff when I was younger. But once I got some turntables and a system and I forget which one it was. It was a small little shitty beat machine, like a Boss. I think it was a Boss. And when I was doing that shit, and then some of the records, I'm just like, man, they become instrumentals. You get a single, and it comes with the acapella, the instrumental, the clean version, the explicit version. So some instrumentals I would just write and just rap over. So it all kind of came hand in hand for me. Everything, like beats, rapping, and DJing. Like I was DJing first, but it wasn't by long. By the time I got, how I was saying, just a little bit ago, I was 13 when I got my first turntables. I was rapping at 14, I was renting studios and shit at fucking 14, 15. Me and the homies would go put money together just so I can get some studio time, And we would do that. It was this old cat. It was an analog studio, I'm DATs. Not ADATs, they're DATs, they're straight up VCR tapes. That's what they look like at least. That's exactly what they were. What the fuck kind of hustle was that? They were fucking VCR tapes, but you only put audio on it, though, no video,
Yeah.
Like, that was after the big reels and all that shit. So that shit was a little bit before my time. But yeah, I was recording on DATs and stuff at an analog studio. And then after paying a shitload of money and having homies, because at 14, 15 years old,
yeah.
You're like, you don't have that type of money to go drop on a studio like that, spend fucking $45, $50 an hour,
Yeah.
Well, we were doing it for a little bit, and that's when I just smartened up and started building my own studio.
Oh yeah, that's a smart thing to do, man. You've been around the juggalo scene for over 10 years, But nowadays, a lot of people have, mixed feelings about certain things. And a lot of people...
That's all bullshit though, man. Like, I don't know why people got mixed feelings, I mean, I can understand it. Oh man, I don't know, because look, everybody understand, like, I'm a fan too. I'm a juggalo too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Respect
when I try to look at it from the outsider's perspective, if I would have never got the record deal I got, so same with Joe and Joey, and then I would be looking at, I don't know how people pick sides and shit like that. If it's not personal to you, why why do you give a fuck? You know what I'm saying? But what happened to, don't you just like the music? What happened to just liking the music? Ain't that what this shit's all about? You know what I'm saying? It's all about the music. So yeah, that's what I don't know. I know where you're going with it, so that's why I had to cut you off with it.
Hey,
no, it's bullshit. I don't know. I think it's like, man, if you love this artist, no matter who it might be, I don't know what side of the fence you're on. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of motherfuckers that is somehow fans pick sides now. And it's like, damn, man, like, and that ultimately hurts motherfuckers like me, because I want to do more mixtapes with everybody, like we always did. So if it's split, it makes it harder for me to fucking get people on a mixtape and do the mixtapes that I know everybody wants, So
yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, how about we just listen to some good music, We'll keep making it.
Right. I can completely respect that. Because I feel the same way. Why pick sides? You know what I'm saying? In any genre of music. You know what I'm saying? You like one band, you know, someone else doesn't like it. So what? That's their opinion. People
Yeah.
have the right to
I
their
don't.
own
Yeah,
opinion.
that type of shit don't happen in like rock and roll or rap. You know, like it's weird. You know, even I mean, it's weird. In rock and roll, a fucking two band members can leave, and somehow fans still don't give a fuck.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wait a minute. See, that's where I would be like, hold on, as a fan, two or three fucking members leave from the rock band that I like, I'm be like, oh man, all right, fuck that. You know, then I might be kind of, you know, well, as a fan, you know, but you know,
You're very diverse in your music and you know what you listen to. What's Clay listening to right now, like on a regular? You know what I'm saying?
I listen to a lot of wild shit. I'm like, what have I been like bumping lately?
Yeah,
Is that
what
what you're
have you
asking?
been
Or, like,
bumping?
what have I currently? It's like because I stopped listening to music for a while.
Oh,
Without I went dark. So when I was making that entire record,
Yeah.
I went dark and stuff. And I purposely didn't listen to no new music. Then I cut myself off from the world. Like I didn't listen to no new music. Didn't watch the news. I tried to stay out. I didn't know what the fuck was going on as far as current events and stuff because I just locked myself in the studio, you know. So,
Yeah.
and I was in there just doing that the whole time. I wanted everything. The reason why new music too I didn't want to listen to is because I didn't want to be inspired by nothing but myself. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to get everything out that I wanted to put out. You know, so. So now I'm kind of backtracking on listening to shit that came out last year, you know, catching stuff like that. Like Eminem, he dropped that Kamikaze album last year, didn't he? Or this year? Was that this year? Whatever year it was, it was when I was dark, and you know, it was everybody was like, "Yeah, you gotta hear this, you gotta hear this." And as bad as I wanted to hear it, I waited. I didn't really hear that shit until everybody was played out on everybody, you know. So it's like that's new to me right now. You know, but that ain't necessarily what I'm listening to. Right now, I'm listening to shit like I'm listening to Eamon right now. You know, his late record. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Eamon's the shit, dude. I'm listening to that shit like that, and I've been listening to a lot of older shit that I grew up on, like Temptations and stuff like that. And then I'll throw on the occasional the new joint, the shit that's popping right now and stuff. So a lot of new shit, just a mix. Like basically, I'll go on my new mix right now on Apple Music and kind of like build a playlist of the new shit or you know how they fucking learn you on your playlist. They tell you what you like now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I let them control me for a little bit now. and you know but out of that it's dope because you hear some shit that you like a lot. You know who else I've been fucking listening to, and I don't know how many people have been listening to dude or how many people know about him now, but this dude named Skits Craven. You ever heard of him?
No.
Well, he's fucking dope, man. I've been listening to him lately a lot too. So shout out to him. He's a dude from Milwaukee, I think. He's from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I hear him shouting that out. I'm like, man, you know, I'd like to work with that dude. You know, I never, I don't know how we ain't bump shoulders because the style of music is, it's the type of style of music that like I cater to and shit like that. Like shit that our fans listen to. Like, I feel like Juggalos will fuck with him, you know, and for real.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like he's dope. I'm listening to shit like that. But I'm always doing that, like trying to look at the motherfucker nobody's heard before, or at least that I feel, because I'm like, because I listen to a lot of fucking music, so I'm constantly searching for that next dope motherfucker, you know, whether it's to sign on my label or just to fucking enjoy, you know, when I throw it in the headphones or something, you know, or when I'm in the car. So I'm always just listening for new shit, weird shit, you know. So a lot of people get skipped.
AR Entertainment. What does the future hold for?
Oh shit, we're AR Entertainment speaks for itself, man. It's Arm Robbery Entertainment. That's what it stands for. It's my record label that I've had since even before I got signed to Psychopathic. You know, I've had the record label for a while. It lay dormant for a little bit, but now it's spreading its motherfucking wings. Like it's time. Like that bitch is about to soar. You know, like in the name and all, it's Arm Robbery Entertainment. You know, we're robbing the rap name. We're coming for all this shit. That we're taking everything. You know, we're taking it all. We're taking everything that's ours. You know, like that we want. If we want it, we're taking it. You know, and what we want is we want the scene right now. So we're gonna go ahead and just take it.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
We got artists already. You know, I mean, great artists. We got Jason, the Sin guy.
Okay.
We got Bales. I got Russell Hood. You know what I'm saying?
That boy can sing.
Man, Russell Hood is the
Sing.
when you hear him sing, when you hear singing on my record, that's Russell Hood or me and Russell Hood stacked up together. You know what I'm saying? Like, but man, that boy he had an amazing voice. You know, so and the whole squad's versatile because his style, like we're working on his album right now.
Yeah.
I'm producing it, and his style is like way different than my style. Like as far as his solo projects and shit, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's insane. The versatility on this label is crazy, dog. It's crazy, and it's not but talent. Cause all my life, a lot of people always wondered why I don't fuck with people. Like I don't fuck with a lot of rappers because a lot of people are, you know, they're just some people just don't got it. But these guys, like I'm not investing my time and money into just anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And no record label would. You know what I'm saying? But these guys, I already know it. That's what's in the future of AR is these guys. You know?
Yeah.
I'll be sitting back, you know, behind the desk, hopefully, you know, within the next like 10 years, you know, and then, you know, these guys will be taking over the fucking rap game.
Yeah, I remember I've heard him sing at karaoke.
Oh, Russell? Yeah.
And man, them pipes,
Yeah.
man. You know, he's he's a big guy, you know, and he's just got voice of like just is
And that boy can spit too.
Really?
Dude, he'll out rap half the motherfuckers that anybody can bring up against him. I'm telling you, yeah. He's man talent.
Another one, man, is Jason, the same guy. He's that boy.
Yo, Jason too.
He can spit like no other.
See, it's like that, you know what I'm saying? Jason, you know, he's out there. He's got what everybody wants right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bell's got the streets. Bell's got the streets. And Russell Hood, he's about to have all the chicks. Like for real. Like that's so, you know. And you got me. I'll just put the hip hop right.
You've toured all over the country, you know, stuff like that. Where is your favorite place and why?
I love Cali.
Cali?
I love LA and like the whole Hollywood, like West Hollywood area.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple places out, man, that I really fell in love with touring, you know, and being there multiple times. Was Arizona, Texas, but LA. It's something about the scene. I don't know. So it's just for me at least. For me, it's the scene out there. I like it, but I mean, there's nothing like home. But as far as what's one of my favorite places, it's LA. I love doing that. We went out there and did movies. So when you're out there for a nice amount of time in a place you love, like, you know, you get to see a lot of other shit besides just passing through on tour, you know?
Yeah. Without getting anybody in trouble, what's one of the most wildest things that you've seen out of the road or has happened to you?
Oh man, without getting anybody in trouble? I'm trying to think of something maybe personally, because I don't give a fuck, I get myself in trouble. I'm trying to be snitching on somebody. Man, I'll tell you this. Look, one of the stories on the side of my head. We were on tour with Kitty, and it was on the Happy Days tour. Me and ICP, Coolio, Kitty, Cottonmouth Kings. That was all on that tour, man. That was a fat ass tour. Damn, that was a fucking fat ass lineup, man.
Yeah.
But Kitty, man, like we didn't the whole tour, like nobody hung out with them or nothing like that, and no shit like that. But they were kind of distant. They had their own little tour bus thing, and well, they wanted to party and get, you know, go out and party one night.
Yeah.
We did, and without going into too much detail, those bitches are crazy. Like them bitches are like shit ain't even cool, crazy.
Shit ain't even cool,
Like
crazy.
I can't even say that shit's rock and roll. Like that shit is like, bitch, get the fuck out of my tour bus type shit.
Okay.
Like, you know, like
wow,
it's like that, but because of how rock and roll I seen them get. But like I said, I don't think it's rock and roll. It's like it's kind of not cool. Like I don't know, damn, it don't really give you too much of a story. You know, it's one of the craziest stories. But one of the craziest experiences I had was with them.
Damn. You've put out a ton of great music, ton of great mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? This CD right here, straight up, it fucking, like, I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of him, because I felt the music, you know what I'm saying?
That's what this record is. It's a hungry record.
Yeah.
You know, and it's for, I feel like everybody can relate to a lot of the shit on this record, a lot of the content on this record.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what, and you know, and then, but see, even though all three records are gonna, you know, be something, they still have their own meaning, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Over Fear, man, like people can relate to that. If you listen to the song, the first song on the record, Over Fear, like, people are like, yeah, you know, it's time to get over all the shit. And one of my fears was to do this record. I was finally over the fear of making this record. You know what I'm saying? I was scared of doing a solo project and having it do something like possibly flop or just not work out, or just, you know, whatever can go wrong or something like that. So, you know, people get nervous of doing it and shit like that. Well, I was afraid to do it for a while, you know, Nice script at time, maybe too long, but I got over that shit, and so the first title really meant a lot to me, kicking off these three, you know.
Yeah. Now, in saying that, what are your top two favorite either mixtapes or the album that you've put out personally?
My top two?
Your top two.
This one. And a World Upside Down. I got three, man.
Okay. What's your,
see, I want to take away from the Let 'Em Bleeds, man, but it's like, we all know those are sweet.
Yeah.
You know, but no, really, my top three, I'm switching it to three.
Switch it to three, hey.
I'm switching it because I don't just have two, but I do have three out of all my projects, you know. Aside from the first Let 'Em Bleed, you know, being, of course, it was a great, huge experience, you know, coming in and everything like that, but it was A World Upside Down, and it was in this order too. It was A World Upside Down, it was the Sideways Room mixtape, and this project right here. Those are the three, my top three of mine out of my discography. You know?
Hell yeah. This one for sure is going, like, for real. I'm like,
the top three is gonna go to the top six by the time all these drops, because all three of these are gonna be amazing. Like, you know, I'm doing the same shit when I start recording the next record. I'm going dark, you know.
Hey, I mean, you know what? Like I said, like I straight up felt that shit, like, in the soul.
That's what it was.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
really,
what I wanted to do. I wanted to have that effect on people without trying too hard to have that effect on people. Like, it was such natural writing on the record for me. Like, it was like not trying too hard. It was pouring out of me. You know, it was just coming out of me. You know, so.
Yeah, it's a fucking record.
Thanks,
for real.
Thanks.
Anything that, you know, anybody you want to shout out, you know, or you want to cover that you want people to know besides Over Fear?
No, I don't want to do shout outs. I mean, I just don't want to do it. You can even cut it if you want. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do that. I already plugged everything that I got to plug. It's like, man, I want to shout. If I do shout out somebody, you know, it's just everybody watching, everybody is sharing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, share the shit out of it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You know, shout out to you for doing that. Like, that's who deserves a shout out to my fans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
you know, I'm already promoting my artist. I already promoted my record.
Yep.
That, you know, that's all I give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? And my manager, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is, you know, my partner in owning this record label. Like, I just don't own just this by myself. It's me and, you know, my partner Jose. Like, we've always owned this forever, you know, and doing it. So it's like, you know, I already plugged what I wanted to plug.
Well,
shout out to y'all.
Hey,
shout out to y'all.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
I was born in the hood, can't help where I'm from. Heartbeat like a drum in the beat, just evolve with a little bit of blood in each and every song. No beat, just love. If you wanna get tough, we 100,000 deep with the goons in the jug. Everything that bloom and the things that cut, so we all will be bad if you all will be not. Gotta keep the shit tight, so we stay like an eye. And I'm shooting for the stars if they like it or not. Ain't no stopping this shit, cause my heart won't stop pumping out these mistakes like my knees do block. Keep a hatchet in the trunk, but I stay with the Glock, cause it's hate in my hood and I'm laying them down. From the lakes to the day that I'm face to the ground, that I'm breathe, that I bleed in the puddle of the young. Not go back in. Were you fucking lost or something? You must not be from around here. Look around. See all those eyes looking at these windows over there? That's suggest you go back. Hands up, come on! Unless you want to go back and talk about. You ain't from out here, you get let down here. This is that sound.